Hey guys, this is a 30-minute yin yoga video. Yin yoga practices are normally around 60 to 75 minutes, so we're not going to hold the poses for quite as long. Sometimes in a practice we might hold them for 5, 6, 7 minutes. Today we're going to be holding them for a little bit shorter. Of course, if you want to stay in a pose a bit longer, you can always pause the video, hang out there for a little bit before moving into a rebound. But otherwise, stay with me and I will guide you through the practice, and I hope you really enjoy it. So if you're new to yin, it's not a flow. It's very much about postures and poses and holding them in stillness. If it doesn't look the same as mine when you come into the pose, don't worry, our bodies are probably completely different. It may be that you can get deeper into a pose or that the kind of angles of your body are different. It's totally normal. All of these are much less about how they look and much more about how they feel. So be guided by sensation and let that be the kind of anchoring of your practice. See if you can stay with sensation for as much of the practice as possible. So the first thing that we're going to do is come onto the back of the body. So I've got a couple of props. I've got a bolster and a block. It doesn't matter if you don't have these at home. You may find that you don't need them, but if you do need them, you can use pillows and books and that kind of thing. It doesn't matter if you don't have all the fancy stuff. So you're going to come onto the back of your body. You're going to place the soles of the feet to the floor. And then thread a pillow underneath your knees or place blocks under the two knees, whatever's more comfortable. And bring the soles of the feet together. Gently roll yourself down onto the back of the body. I'm going to be using my watch to time the holds, but try to settle into the postures as quickly as possible. The real kind of crux of the yin practice is stillness, and finding stillness can be incredibly challenging when we're used to a busy lifestyle. So you can let the hands rest wherever feels most comfortable. Maybe you take one to your chest, one to the belly, maybe the hands at either side of you, or perhaps you reach over your head and catch hold of opposite elbow. If you feel pins and needles at any time, it normally means that perhaps you're just trapping a nerve, so gently readjust and find a place where you can work around the nerve or the tissue that's pinching. And then let yourself come down onto the floor and find as much stillness as you can. I'll be moving around a little to keep an eye on the time. But don't let me distract you. See if you can stay in stillness with your eyes closed and be guided by my voice and be guided by your breath and be guided into sensation. So unlike a meditation on the breath, such as our flow practice or a seated meditation, sensation is much more key to connecting to a yin practice. So as you lie with the back of the body against the earth, just allow yourself to be drawn into the sensation of your experience here. Maybe noticing the hips or the back of the body against the ground. Notice the jaw. Maybe there's opportunity to be a little bit softer in the jaw and in the face as you begin to let yourself dissolve into stillness. No physical effort. Everything soft. So we're finding a little space in the hips, the groin, and depending on the patterns of tension in your body, The sensation may shift around a little or be somewhere else. But usually here it's the hips that are most obviously experiencing the pose. You're here for another 45 seconds. And notice if the intensity of the sensation brings tension into the body, and if that's the case, notice if there is opportunity to soften, so that rather than transferring the tension around the body, we allow the tension to release. And in between each of our poses, we'll take a rebound. So gently bring your hands to the outside edges of the thighs and use the arms, the hands, to draw the knees to touch. Make the movement as small as possible. Take the props from underneath you and lengthen the legs down onto the floor and the palms face up either side of the body. I'm just using this moment to rebound on the back and just absorb the movements of energy, the impact of our first pose. And then slowly bring your knees into your chest. Catch hold of the knees and maybe rock side to side. And you're going to make your way up to seated as easily as possible. So finding ease. As you settle the sit bones to the earth, take the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Your sit bones come to touch the ground, and you take a forward fold, but rather than reaching for the foot and trying to stretch, you're going to take a much more passive forward fold. If the right knee is lifted, you can place something underneath the knee, and if you find it difficult to fold forward, you can always sit on a block or a cushion. And then the backs of the hands come to the ground. And you let yourself soften down over the left leg. The eyes are closed. The gaze is dropping softly inwards. And there's a meditation on the sensation within the body. And most of us will feel a sense of opening up through the back of the body. So the hamstring is the target area, but maybe you'll feel it in the back or the neck. And if it's too strong on the neck, you can place a block or a cushion under the forehead for support. But otherwise, you're here resting in stillness and letting gravity draw you into the pose as you soften through each layer of connective tissue. And if you find that the mind is wandering away from the sensation in your body, then just come back and feel this experience of space opening up through the back body. So the idea with our yin yoga practice is that by holding the poses for several minutes, we work into the deeper connective tissues of the body and access stagnant energy, release tension that might be deeper than just the superficial muscles or tissues that we get to in our regular yoga practice. You might notice the distraction techniques that the mind throws in, such as letting the eyes wander around the space, or thinking about what you'd like to eat next, or whatever else it might try, but see if you can really be with sensation here. You have 70 seconds, just over a minute. If the sensation has subsided, then see if you can soften to draw you in deeper without forcing the pose. So let your softness be the direction to help you find depth. Last 20 seconds. And let your next breath lift your chest away from the thigh. Extend both legs out and come to take that rebound on the back of the body. Letting the shoulders touch down to the earth, back of the head releases to the floor. And perhaps the asymmetry of sensation provides you with something tangible here, so that the awareness can be drawn more and more into the experience of the practice. Can you surrender a little more? Can you soften? Can you release? And just be here. And then slowly make your way up onto the other side with as little fuss as possible, as little muscular effort. Bring the sole of the foot somewhere to rest against the right thigh. Turn the backs of the hands to the earth and soften yourself over the right leg. And maybe two sides of the body feel quite different to one another. Maybe you have to support the knee on this side, even though you didn't on the previous side. Just be on this side, with this side. And fully embrace the sensation and the experience of being here. You've had 1.5 minutes. You have 2.5 minutes to go. So let yourself become softer and softer. And notice where the mind is now. If it isn't fully here in your practice, can you bring it in? Find yourself in the sensation in the back of the body. Noticing what it is to be in full awareness in this pose, nowhere else. Last 10 seconds. Can you remain here in stillness? And then let your next breath lift your chest as you come to take a rebound on the back of your body. And just allowing yourself to be in this stillness without any need to do anything other than be here. And let your next breath draw in through the nose. Big sigh to release. Maybe reach the arms over the head. Take a big stretch. And then this time we're going to stay on the back of the body. So bend your knees, place the soles of the feet to the floor. Just lift the hips and drop them over to the right side. And there's a few different variations of this, so find one that works for you. Option 1 would be to just let the knees drop over to the left side. It doesn't matter if the shoulder lifts away from the floor. If it's too strong on the lower back, you can place a cushion either underneath or between the knees. The next variation would be to cross the legs, wrapping them either once or twice, and letting the knees drop over to the left side. Again, if it's too strong on the lower back, you can place a bolster or a cushion underneath the knees. And then let the arms drop by the sides. Maybe gazing in the opposite direction to the knees. Let the spine be long, and then just find stillness here. If at any point you feel that you want to take it a little deeper, you can move the knees slightly closer towards the left shoulder. Or just be conscious that we're here for a little while longer. So there's no need to take it too deep or make it too strong. You may feel a sensation through the glutes, the sort of outer hips, the lower, middle, or even upper back. Or maybe the sensation's really subtle here. It's different for everybody and different on different days. So no right, no wrong, just make sure that there's no pain. Just after halfway. Can you find a little more softness? Can you experience the sensation a little bit more fully? As you move into your last 30 seconds, just ensure that as much of your awareness is here, present in this pose, as you can find. And gently unwind, center your hips on the mat, and take a rebound on the back of your body. And again, maybe the asymmetry gives you a really tangible opportunity to draw the awareness in to sensation in your body. And we'll make our way onto the other side for our final pose. So bend your knees, lift the hips and place them to the left. Then maybe if you crossed the legs before, cross the legs, or otherwise just let them fall over to the left side. Gazing over the opposite shoulder, but with the eyes closed. Just softening into what it is to be here. Notice if there's space to move into, and let the softening of the body draw you into that space. Halfway. Let yourself be as present here as you can. As you head into your final minutes, maybe you adjust slightly to come deeper into the pose and then settle down into stillness again. Letting that stillness create space and awareness in the deeper connective tissues of the body. And very gently unwind. Bring the hips back to the center. Legs down onto the floor, backs of the hands to the earth. And take this final rebound as an opportunity for full relaxation. As you feel the tingling, the movement of energy in the body. So that all of your awareness is on the sensation here. But then slowly you let that awareness drop away as you dissolve into this final relaxation. And then begin to feel the body against the earth, bringing your awareness back to sensation. Perhaps beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe taking the arms over the head for a full body stretch, if that feels good. And bringing the knees into the chest, squeezing them in tight and rocking gently from side to side until you roll over onto the left side of the body. And just pause here for a breath before pressing into your right hand and gently making your way up to seated, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze soft. Tuck your chin down towards your chest and bring the hands to touch at the heart. And just make an offering of this stillness, this focus, this calm energy. And send it beyond yourself to someone or something else, so the practice continues to grow beyond just this short time that we've spent on the mat. And then begin to rub the hands together to warm the palms. Place the palms over the eyes. Begin to blink the eyes open into the darkness of the palms. And separate the fingers to let in the light as you release the hands away from your face. Namaste.